Hello, everyone. So I was just meditating and I just had next year on my mind. So naturally, I just started reading 2021. And what was coming to me was that 2021 will be kind of a stabilizing year. It will be mostly stable. But then I was seeing 2022, there being a lot of the way I was seeing it was like black energy. And when I tuned into that to see what that was about, it was like pain and suffering and like possibly the loss of people to wars. That could be more symbolic. I'm not trying to say that there will be a war in year 2022, but there's a possibility that something like that could happen that will be pretty bad for the economy and just a lot of suffering and lack of, well, resources and people around in people's lives. I'm just seeing a lot of suffering in that regards in year 2022. Although that could change as time progresses, but right now that's what I'm seeing. Um, so when I tuned into 2021, I see what kept coming up for me was I'm seeing Joe Biden and him being president and being in like a tight spot, so to speak. And I mean that in the sense of him trying to make deals with other countries. I do see him stepping forward to other countries, um, possibly Russia, but Ukraine for some reason came up. So there's a possibility that he may be trying to work with Ukraine in some way. But I'm also just getting that it's going to be, him trying to make a lot of deals with the world economy, trying to progress globalization, which has been kind of the opposite of what Trump has been doing, which is kind of shutting it down. Um, I'm seeing that he has a lot of what I've said before about him, which I still stand to, as that he's kind of backed by a lot of other people and kind of standing on the shoulders of what's kind of been built already systematically within the government with other people. And so a lot of what he's doing is he's just kind of furthering the um, what's kind of already in works. And but I do see this being his personal, individual effort and his own idea coming from him and himself only to kind of work these deals through with other countries. And I'm seeing it being something that is very hard driven towards. It's like a very big goal for him. He really wants to make these things happen on an individual level, even if those working with him aren't necessarily backing his ideas 100%. This is just where he's at, where he's trying to get to. And I'm seeing these deals working out okay and being a good thing, stabilizing the economy, but also I don't see it working out great. And I see Biden being a little bit, let down and not enthused about how everything's going. Although overall, I see him being happy about the deals that he does make. And I'm seeing this helping later on in 2022 when things may potentially get more rough, especially for the American people. Um, I do see deals also being proposed from other countries to Joe Biden, um, and these are not the best deals. they're kind of like trying to sneak in, their deal that doesn't benefit the U.S. very well. And so I see Biden actually turning a lot of these down, and it doesn't really work out exactly how he would like it, because these deals are, not necessarily balanced, or they're not really giving the edge to the U.S. and Joe Biden. So I'm seeing him turning it down being mostly good, turning most of the deals down. Not all of them, but like I'd say maybe 80% of them. So for year 2021, I'm still seeing a lot of social distancing and a lot of, well, I'm seeing flights returning. What I saw was an image of an airplane landing and people getting out, but they're walking very far apart, single file line. And there's this general sense of cooperation within humanity, society, and there's this calmness, this sense of solitude, and it's like people are really more focused on themselves as an individual. There's a lot, well, like I said, solitude. I think that kind of sums it up. And as much as I'm seeing this sense of calmness where people are really, you know, not acting out too much, there's also this sense of this looming desperation on some level, where people are, trying to find their, like, a safe route for them in the future. Like, people are trying to, you know, get their feet on the ground financially, and it looks like there's a lot of people doing things. Like, I saw people like reading newspapers and looking for the next deal, like trying to figure out like what their next step is, like almost like a game of chess with their own life and their finance and getting things set up. So there's this sense of like desperateness in regards to that, while at the same time the behavior of people seems to be more calm, much more calm than 2020. Very calm in comparison. But I do also simultaneously, I saw this image of a woman giving birth to a child, and this child was kind of like a pestering child, if that makes any sense. Not really happy, not really that content, and kind of like it was as if the world was constricting, and almost a sense of rebellion against the world, and as if this was a child who was kind of like throwing things at the establishment or throwing things at authority, kind of like how somebody may sit next to you and like they're, doing what they're supposed to be doing, but they might like flick something at you, like just to kind of piss you off. Like they're just kind of flicking things at someone's face, or like the authorities' face, or like just society, or just like people in general, because they're unhappy with their situation. But at the same time, they're still sitting where they're told to sit, and they're still doing what they're being told to do. So there's this sense of confinement and obeying, following within this social network, um, like the whole network of society, and everybody's still like very calm and peaceful for the most part, but there is this little like rebellious edge to it of people kind of like flicking things at each other, if that makes any sense. So when I look at where this is coming from, I'm seeing it being the parents, or the authority, if you want to call it that, people in control, I guess, if you want to say it like that. Those people having a lot of worry and solitude, and going back to what I was saying before, like this sense of kind of looming desperation to figure out their finances to like the reality, the confinement is really coming down on people. And when I asked what is a solution to this, I saw, or what came to me was people giving up their pickiness, not being so picky about, figuring out the perfect, thing that they can do within the economy to get the best deals or whatever, and just being in this inquisitive kind of seeking things, if that makes sense, inquisitive mind, where people are just seeking the best situation within the economy, just really hell bent on getting a good deal and things like that, and it kind of creates this solitude kind of energy, which it seems to be a big part of the year, and that really kind of blocking people off from each other and making people kind of cold to each other. I don't mean cold in the sense of being like negative towards each other. I just mean cold in the sense of being distant from each other. And so being able to kind of give up this pickiness and perfection of like making their life, perfect within, the constructs of the economy, and being able to kind of put that aside for a moment and be able to just show somebody absolute love, because it looks like there's a lot of distractions from that. There's not much opportunity for people to really just fully show like complete absolute love and be able to like melt away all these worries, all these excessive ideas about what people need to be doing to, secure their finances or whatever. So for 2021, when I asked what could be some good advice just in general for people, I got, well, obviously I kind of already said it, but avoiding the frantic mentality. And this could apply specifically to social media and things being overhyped. Really finding some time to spend with family and friends was a big one. Just taking the time to do that, and people are really seeking this like network. I'm seeing a lot of it being social media, and I'm seeing that not really paying off so much, because it's kind of like the herd mentality, because everybody's kind of following the same information, trying to do the same thing. And it's like it doesn't really work out because everybody else is doing it, if that makes sense. I guess competition could be at play there. I'm just thinking, that's my rational mind. I'm not reading that, but that's how I would rationalize that. That you don't want to just be doing what's on the social media outlets that everybody else is kind of flocking to. And I'm saying that people will have much more benefits by building their networks within their friends and family, and like, you know, closer networks, like physical, real people that they have in their lives, rather than just like following whatever is trending online. I'm seeing that being a um, big effect on the frantic energy and the looming desperation. So that's one way to kind of sidestep that. Things to avoid for 2021, I'm seeing placing heavy bets on things could be something to not do so much in 2021. Doing things on a whim. I think I had very similar things actually last month for last month's reading. Doing things on a whim, kind of placing bets, riskiness is what I was saying for last month, and this seems to be kind of carrying on into 2021. Um, more specifically for 2021, rather than what I was saying last month, I think the difference is that there's more of this sense of fantasy and like fantastic ideas, if that makes sense. The way that it came to me was I saw an image of I think it's the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, and it was almost like it was hypnotizing people and getting people to kind of, again, it had to do with this like herd mentality, everybody flocking to the same type of thing, and just creating almost this hypnotized kind of mindset, and it not necessarily being reality, but it's more kind of like brainwashing by everybody's seeing the same thing and talking about the same thing on social media or whatever it may be. So this, overhyping of certain things and over romanticizing things that doesn't necessarily help in the long run, that people may be too quick to act on out of this sense of desperation. So just go ahead and try and avoid those things if you can. Don't follow rushes if there's like a rush to do something drastic in your life because everybody else seems to say that it's a good idea. This is probably not the time to do that, or if it is, just take a step back and give it some time before you do it, and really just try and be more stable. Although I do see 2021 being a more stable year than the next year, 2022. I think it's a good opportunity to become more stable, so that the more stabilized you can get yourself to be, the better. And I don't mean, see, the problem is everybody here is stable or wants to be more stabilized, which seems to be the gist of the year. But everybody's, what I'm seeing at least, is everybody seems to want to seek that out by like reading the news and doing what everybody else is doing. But I'm saying be stable within yourself, be more grounded. I don't know how to explain that other than just work the energy. You could practice grounding. Um, just practice general awareness and don't rush yourself into anything. So I hope this works or helps for next year, or if it is already 2021, then I hope this helps for this year. Thank you for watching and have a great day.